Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Luchin. It is in the evening on January 31st. We had the face-to-face class today, the face-to-face lecture today, and Frank Lenko came in and presented. And his presentation was there was a lot of similarities in what he covered in what I provided you, though it was a lengthier version because it was on WebEx. In the presentation, he used the same sort of presentation, but there was some additional information that I wanted to cover with you. First and foremost, I had provided you with the contact information for both Frank and his colleagues, and also the career services page. So he announced today that they just updated their career services page, and so now it looks different. I know all of you are online, all of you are off campus. Please, 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 and this is something that Frank stressed throughout his presentation, please contact him or career services for assistance. And because they'll review resumes for you, they'll provide one-on-one instruction how to use Handshake or talk about strategies. The messaging was pretty much the same that he's done in different semesters, but he talked about that. Now, I thought that there were some additional information that was flying by on this. Hold on. Here we go. There it is. So there are two types of career fairs. There is the campus-wide career fair, which is February 13th through the 15th. That's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, from 11 to 3:30 in the Hamilton room of the University Center. I call it the UC. Click here to view primary majors and attending. So he said during class today, over 30 employers already are looking for safety that are going to be at this. But you want to use Handshake to see who they are and to prepare for it. So that's why I recommend you contact Frank or one of his colleagues to prepare that. And you can participate virtually. I'm not sure if you can do virtually for their career fair, but for the safety career fair, which is on March 6th, you can. There's virtual options. And he asked that you guys sign up through Handshake to attend. It's not required, but he said it does help with getting you messages and things like that. So there's interview prep. There's just so much here for you. And is this the one that's on February 6th? I'm gonna click on this really quick. I thought it was February 6th. So there's resume cafes, but there's also other events. Oh, that's on Facebook. There's other events, and one of them is on February 6th from 4 to 6 o'clock. I'm not seeing it here readily, but it's got to be here. And what he said is it's an appointment. It's like a resume prep and everything, but they're going to have photographers there, and I think this is over in the UC, taking professional photos. So for LinkedIn or for whatever you need it for, that's on February 6th from 4 to 6 o'clock. Again, you guys are on campus, but if you're nearby, I recommend you look into this stuff and put it on your calendar. There's appointments. There's all kinds of resources here. So I did provide it, right here. Please use it. It's all updated. And there's information on Handshake, and there's stuff on resumes in addition to what Frank said. But I think some of these things actually kind of refer to things he had referred to in his video. It's really good stuff, you guys. I know I took some of his advice too. And then with my video here, I even gave additional advice, and it really aligns with what he had said. That when recruiters or AI systems that recruiters use, they're looking for certain keywords. And if you can go and search a handful, 4 to 6 job postings within sort of an industry or area that you want, you can capture the language for what the responsibilities are and what the qualifications are. And you can slip in more of those words into your resume and onto your LinkedIn profile. That is going to give you a higher score if that's what they're using, because you have more of those words. It's unfortunate, but that's the game. And so that's what you guys are doing this week, and that's what I tried to show on this video. So I just posted grades. The weekly PPDP update, some of you had put in more effort than others, and so I tried to give anything from I mean, if you barely put any work into it, I think I was giving 7s. I tried not to go below that. If you put in sort of a moderate, there was an 8. If you put in some effort, I see some promise, a 9, but only those that really challenged themselves and provided honest, detailed goals did they get the 10s. And so that's kind of how it went. I wasn't trying to be too critical, just wanted to reward those that put in the most amount of effort. And we're going to keep reviewing that. And I'm hoping that this week, as you watch this stuff and maybe kind of understand some other things you can do to improve the value for a future employer, or to come up with a strategy to identify where you might want to work or where you might want to apply for a position, that helps you with your goal setting, providing more details. So one problem we did have with this first week, and this came to me, I think on Monday. I think someone told me that you have to upload everything at the same time to the assignment folder. You can't just do one and come back and do it later. I don't know why. I think that's just the worst. You should be able to do that. But some of you only had a single document uploaded, or there were several missing. And I tried to, when I graded it, I said, you're missing these things, please upload it. I won't take off, for things not being on time, because it's kind of a mess. But please upload those documents. I'll get a notification, and then I'll go in and I'll change your score. No harm, no foul. Okay, everybody? But I just wanted to remind everybody that each week I will have the agenda. Here's the week 1 agenda. And down here, the assigned work, you're expected to do all these things. So the first 9 go into the assignment folder. The last one goes into the personal professional development plan. I think a lot of you understood that. But another thing is how you present it should matter. Some of you did a fantastic job of explaining to me when we met, and maybe gave a few notes, and then it was really, really well done. Others just kind of slapped something together and threw it at me. So I didn't take off a lot of points for that. I think it was a half a point for things not being really organized. Or if I couldn't read it or see what was going on, I took off points too. I could only grade you on what was submitted. So some of you definitely deserve higher scores this week. Okay, just submit your work. Okay. The one thing that tripped a lot of you up was the problem solving, and so I'd like to go ahead and do that for you, because it's going to be I'm going to be challenging you guys each week. Hold on, I just got to get it to open up here. So if you recall, this was the problem. So I had 2 of them. One was a GPA issue. The other is, what do I need on the final exam to get a certain score? There's many different ways to do this. One is, the first thing is, how's a GPA even calculated? How does this make sense? And what I want you to be able to do is to go on and find out, how is GPA calculated? And so, one is each letter grade is given a scale. So it's giving like a rating or a scale, and you multiply that times the number of credits, and that gives you grade points. And then those grade points are added up and you divide it by the total credits, and that's how you get the GPA. So there's a lot of different things here you could use. Some actually do the calculation for you. Some just explain how to do it. So units, grade points. So you could go through and actually put in what we have for the semester and see what it is, or see how it would change. And then down here, this is the sort of the ratings that goes with each letter grade. Okay. Open this up again, and you could check this work too. So basically, credit by the grade scale gives you grade points. So for this one to be 3 times A is 4 would be 12 grade points. 3 times A minus, so 3 times 3.7 is whatever it is. You add all those up, divide it by 13, and you get 3.1. That's how you do it. But here's the thing. You don't average each semester. It's cumulative. So you have to add up all the grade points and divide it by all of the credits, and then you have it. So you could do it by hand, but one thing I like to do is I like to transfer things to Excel if I can. because then I can manipulate it and I can do my own equations. So I just opened up a new thing, I hit paste, and I've got everything right here. So what would I do here? So first of all, I'm just going to insert a few lines. I'm going to get rid of that stuff because I don't like that stuff. If any of you have had me for 483, you know what's going on probably. So this would be the, I'm going to put the grade scale. I'm going to put the grade points here. So the grade scale, I mean, I don't do equal to, you have to get the scale. So let's go ahead and find it. So I have it. It's all over the place here. Is this a good one? Grade point equivalency, is that what it's called? Control Alt S. I'm gonna copy it. Got to make sure it's out of a thing of, oh shoot, I did it wrong. Sorry, everybody. Do that and then do copy and then open this up. And then I can just go paste. I can just put it right over that. So for an A, it's 4. For an A minus, 3.67. I think sometimes they just say 3.7 though. Let's see here. I mean, we could also search and find out what Whitewater does. GPA calculator from Whitewater. Oh, they do use 3.67, 3.33. Okay. But I mean, there's things here where you could actually go and calculate. Look at it. I mean, it's even built in here. So you can figure stuff out. I want you to be able to search for references, resources to do your work, and then tell me what you used. In the safety field, we do that all the time. And that's why I'm doing this. I talked to an engineer today about, because I was taking some pictures at work for next week's, for week 3's problem solving. He's like, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm going to be presenting this to my students. They're going to do this solving. He's like, thank goodness. He goes, there aren't enough professors out there that give students real world problems and have them just figure it out. So I'm just going to let you know John is saying it's a good thing. So you can put in these scale things here. C plus is a 2.33. I'm going to turn this to 3.67. 3.67. A B minus is a 2.67, and so on and so forth. And the way we get the points is we go equal the credits multiplied by the scale, and you get 12. And then I click and drag this down. So what's the total? Equal the sum of these, 40.3. And what's the GPA then? 40.3 divided by the total, which is 13. 3.1. Do you see? That's how it's calculated for each one. Let's get the total number of credits, shall we? And the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to add up every one for a quarter. I mean, yeah. Or is it semester? Semester. And there should be just a few more. So the total is 414. I could go through and do all these grade points, or I could shortcut it a little bit because there's another way to do it. There's an easier way to do it. Just based because, I mean, I don't have the equation on here, but I had it on the screen before. I don't want to make this too long. Okay, so a couple things. So what classes should you retake? You want to take something that's C minus or lower, but the lower the grade, the more potential you have to increase your grade point, the actual grade points for it. A 5 credit D is very good. It's also a lower class number than these down here, so it's probably easier. So we've got a 5 credit D here, class 109. So what is the current points that go into this? Because we can figure out what it is total and then figure it out differently and then see how it would change everything. Okay? So for overall, this is the total GPA. They're cumulative, sorry. Cumulative GPA, here's the total number of credits. So if I multiply this times this, I should get the number of total grade points equal to this number times by this number. So our total grade points are 277.02. How do I know that? Because GPA is equal to grade points divided by credits. Okay, so I solved. I had GPA multiplied by credits. I got the grade points. So that's the total grade points. All right. We need this to go up. How much do we need it to go up from 2.43? Well, if I had if I need a GPA of 2.50 and I multiply that by 414, I need 285 minimum. What's the difference? The difference, or the number of points I need to increase it by, is the difference between these, which is, I'm doing this a little bit wrong. I know, I'm trying to be quick here. I need an additional 8. I need 8 more points. That's what I need. So if I've got a D right here, what's that total? So a D is worth 1. The total is equals 5 times 1. What do I need? I need 8 more. So I need 13. I need 13. What can I do to get 13? Well, if I divide 13 by the number of credits, 5, I need 2.6. I need a 2.6. Is that what that really means? So 2.6 times 5, is that equal to 13? 2.6 times 5 is equal to 13. So that should be enough. That gives me an increase of 8, and that's what I need in order to go from 2.77 to 8.5, or 285. That gives me a 4.0. I'm sorry, no, that gives me a 2.5. So a 2.6, if I can get a 2.6 as a grade instead of a 1, that should be enough. And a 2.6 is, well, it would have to be a B minus, ideally a B, but B minus would be the absolute minimum, and that's how you solve that problem. I mean, you could do it all manually. You could add them all up and do it that way, or you can kind of think about how overall things can be solved numerically. Okay, so that's that part. And again, I want you to find the resources to answer the question, and then provide the, again, the where did you get the stuff from? This is getting too long. I apologize. This one, we had some difficulty. So it's actually, if you look at it from like a math problem and what we have here. So the cumulative percentage is right here. And then we're given what we want it to be. And so what you want to do is subtract the 2 to find out what this needs to be for minimum, and then you convert that into a score out of 100. That's really what it is. So what we want is, so the goal or the minimum is 92%, is 90%, is 82%. I'm just taking these from down here, by the way. 70%. Story problems, you need to write it out and kind of show it logically. And one thing I asked you all is show me your work, which is to say, teach it to me. Teach me how you're doing it. Explain it. And some of you just didn't provide enough of that. I wasn't sure where you were going with it. So this is the goal. So the difference, or what the final exam min needs to be, is the difference between the two. So it's equal to this number minus this number. Definitely don't need that many decimal points, though, do I? I've got 2 there, so I'll stick with 2. I'll just drag them down. Just get rid of the ones. That probably could have been done a lot cleaner. So this is what we need. And this is what we need out of 20%. Right away, you'll see right here, it is impossible for Bob to get an A minus. The best he could do is he'd get an 89. The best he can do is a B plus. So what does Bob need to get a final exam? Impossible. It's impossible. So 100 out of 100 gives Bob a B plus. All right, so here we've got, so this person wants to get an A, needs a minimum 92, needs to get 17.23 on the exam. So what is, oh wait, I'm sorry, 17.23% of the 20. So you got to divide it by 20 to get the score. So it's equal to this number divided by 20%, or 0.2. They need to get, and then I just have to multiply it by 100. And you have to, oh, no, you don't have to round it up. If they get it, wait, do you? Because if you got an 86, that's not 86.15. So you do have to round that up. So they would need an 87. That's the answer. Because you can't get 86 and change. Therefore, you have to round it up, right? So let's go ahead and copy, paste, paste, paste. So is that correct? That's correct, yeah. So for this one, can't get a 76.85, so it'd be a 77. 94, 94, that one actually hit right on. And this one is an 86.5, so you would need an 87. So here are the correct answers. So I'd want you to think about it that way. So Abby gets an 87, she gets an A. Anything below that, it's going to be less than the 92%. So we laid it all out. And I wanted you also to think about, if you get it, if she just got an 86, that wouldn't be enough. She'd be shy, 0.15 points. Maybe they'd round up, maybe she's a good person, but that's how I want you to solve it, is to work it all out and explain it. I didn't write it all out. I verbally explained it, but that's how I want you to do it, okay? Now let's take a quick look at the homework problem here. So we're going to be doing, basically you're calculating volumetric airflow and then determine whether it's positive, negative pressure. I met with a bunch of engineers today about this, and basically, how do you calculate volumetric flow? Well, let's go to Google. How to calculate volumetric airflow. Okay, CFM is what we want. We get conversions, formula for volumetric airflow. No, we don't need that. That's a Venturi. Okay, cross-sectional area, flow velocity. Isn't that what I gave you? Linear velocity, approximate size. So I've given you the dimensions and the cross-sectional area. So you can calculate volumetric flow. The approximate size. So it's the chiller is coming in, the oven is exhausting out. So is there more air leaving the space? If it is, then the space is under negative pressure, and air from other adjacent rooms will migrate to it. If there's more air coming in through the chiller than is going out through the oven, then it's under positive pressure. In that case, air will be pushed away from the space and into adjacent areas. And if that air contains contaminants, then other people will be feeling it. We have symptoms of people in around areas. So I suspect what it might be, but I need the numbers to show it. So here's a picture. Here's an actual picture. This is the oven exhaust. This is the chiller air coming in and pushing down right here. From a side view, so the oven would draw in the air down here. Here's the product moving down a conveyor. The cool air is coming down. Now, if this is under negative pressure, we shouldn't have that much of a problem, because it shouldn't, even if it is released into the air, it shouldn't migrate into other areas. But if there's positive pressure, if we're forcing more air in, then things will be pushed away from this space. So I've kind of told you what the answer is probably going to be, but I need you to do the numbers to do it. And I would want you to read up about what it means for indoor air quality, positive pressure versus negative pressure rooms, okay? And write that all out and tell me where you found the information. At this point, I'm not going to go too crazy about what the validity or reliability of your sources. I want you just finding answers. I want you to figure things out, because I do things like this all the time. And again, the engineers are like, yes, we need more of that. So that's everything I have. Please reach out to me if you have questions, but I just wanted to update you on a few things and kind of explain some of the issues with the week 1 grading. All right, thanks everybody.